But she forgets about him and he dies. Ah, felony, why? Nashorn for Seth taking some long-range shots on the jumbo tank already, and that's one hell of a shot through the trees. Clean shot. We do have a repair kit there, so I think the jumbo in some way might be immobilized. Doesn't look like the engine's damaged. It doesn't look like the track is damaged. The hull, though, from the red text, is damaged. And it's always great that you can kind of see how a tank is damaged in this game. Good work, developers, for the amount of details. Migsy moving up with the M20. That M20 fortunately gets destroyed. It could have been the AT rifle from earlier. That's still safe in the hills. We have a heavy AT in the back on the central position, already taken care. Not a heavy AT, sorry, it's heavy artillery firing on the central position. Took care of this pack. The Hetzer's still good and safe, hiding in the rear. We've got a few infantry dotted around the area. The USA forces are now taking care of the central position. And these buildings are soon not going to last long with that artillery. They will get destroyed at some point, there's no doubt about that. Given the amount of infantry I've seen in the center from the American forces, as well as Mithras, I do believe there's a little bit of manpower stacking. They're saving up for some good stuff. You know, which is, in one way, a shame. I do like to see a lot of infantry battling, but on the other, you never know what they're going to bring out. They might have something good and juicy, and we might see some really good heavy tank support. Usually when you get one heavy tank, you don't decide to get two heavy tanks. You end up supporting it with a lot of infantry. So long as they're alive. We have one hell of a grenade from Felony. He takes out 3 guys in the zone. 3 birdies with 1 stone. He gets his Panther Shrek out. Fires into the side of the M20. And this guy's just a hero. He's taken out so much. He's really useful in the battle. Good controlled Felony. And he's so baller. He's just got his weapon on his back. His job is done. He doesn't need to do any more. But in fact, no, his spider sense is tingling. He's got some work to do. Unfortunately, both M20s destroyed. Felony can't increase her arsenal of weapons by repairing those and taking them for herself. No matter, she brings in an assault squad to take care of this left-hand zone. She's already neutralized the middle, but that's just been captured by the USA forces. She's putting pressure on this left zone, tossing grenades over, using the ridge to block any rifles being shot at her. Of course, using the environment is a good thing, and it's using it well is what makes you a really good player. We have an assault on the central position from Mithras against Lemming. Some grenades going off there, and some building destruction on the right in the barn. Felony assaulting both points at the same time, trying to force her opponent to pay attention to 2 areas at once, and that's definitely going to help her if Migsy is unable to compete with that kind of APM. Tank crew still lurking around from that M20 from earlier. We still have that Sherman lurking in the back, and it honestly feels like the Americans in the center and on the right hand side are constantly having to defend as the Germans assault. Usually the assault kind of, you know, it doesn't completely fail, but after the assault and they capture the zone, they're really weakened and they're unable to defend it from the sort of counter attack, which ends up being a really strong defense afterwards. Picking up the pieces, we do have a destroyed 222 on this side of the map. Seth brings in a second 222. And Laubox unfortunately doesn't have his jumbo tank. Not really seeing much on the left hand side in terms of red dots, which is what I'm looking for. And my throat slowly dwindles into the depths of oblivion. Felony running into the zone. Once more, there's a nice pipe she could take over behind. And I do realise my voice is dramatically slowed down. 9! That guy really likes his number, and a tiger growls onto the field. This is a match for that Sherman, and it explodes in the background. That tiger already perceived as a threat on the field, and we've got a heavy howitzer somewhere around this location firing. You can hear it. Groar. Roaring, growling, this is more of a retarded growl. Retarded meaning slow. Tiger, not phased at all by the heavy howitzer firing on it. In fact, going to move forward slightly and increase, you know, the threat of saying, I have a tiger. What have you got? Have you got any bacon to deal with this? No, you have no bacon. I'm coming in to destroy you now. Fear my presence, you shall die. That sandbag is no protection for you. Or you, kind gentleman, I'm sorry, you must die now. I'm losing it. Anyway, Nebelwerfer fires onto the field, clearing out some of these guys in a more humane manner. As a Flak 38 joins the centre of the field as well, we have our own artillery for the German forces. Which may be used to counter the enemy artillery. Always good to use artillery as soon as the enemy fires their artillery. Hopefully, artillery not very good when it comes to protection. It's easily destroyed. One near shot will decrew, and one sort of more near shot will hopefully disable or even destroy if you're lucky enough. And that's, artillery expensive to bring onto the field. Destroying that has dealt a huge blow to the enemy forces. We have one guy from Seth the Mighty crawling up here, throwing a grenade, kills a guy, and Laubach's trying to split up his infantry into the bushes. There's a lot of places you can hide on this side of the map, and we have a whole squad moving in. Seth the Mighty has seen all of it, so these guys aren't being sneaky about it. They're not stopping and shooting, though. That's the most problematic thing. They hit the dirt and begin firing. I do find it annoying sometimes when you move your infantry. Remember, if you double click, they won't attack if you just normal click, one single click. A grenade takes out a few guys. I think 3 guys fell to that grenade. Another guy's forced to a grenade. A lot of grenade action. Laubach's throwing a grenade of himself, but Laubach's well on the ball. But this guy, he just falls face first into the dirt. We do have a Brandenburg. He's going to pick up his weapon and return to the battlefield. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the map, we have a Pershing from Miggsy. This could be a huge blow to Felony. She needs to deal with this appropriately. Miggsy, now having a strong weapon on the battlefield, is going to move his infantry up, and they'll fire on the same guy in that house. Taking cover behind the pipe, he can definitely use the Pershing to some offensive power. The Pershing should be, enough to deal with a Tiger. Both of them probably won't want to face each other head on, but, my bets are on the Pershing, in all honesty. We have a second Pershing from Mrs. Lemming in the centre. And that Hetzer is probably now in trouble. Felony keeping her Tiger hidden. Moving it now, it seems the German forces are aware of this Pershing. Obviously I'm aware of this Pershing, so they should be too. Unfortunately in the centre, this flak is not going to be a match for the Pershing, but the infantry approaching, yeah, it can deal with them. Nebelwerfer shot somewhere, but I'm going to keep watching because I think this flak is about to die from the Pershing, and it might just go up in a big batter. Boom! Ah, my pen! Do excuse me, I was fiddling around with my pen. I'm so out of my mind right now. Anyway, trying to keep my mind in the game. One guy dies behind a sandbag. These guys don't die behind a pipe. This Tiger is here. Those guys are shouting. Some are running. He's yovoling. He's also yovoling. Okay, yeah, Miggsy takes this right-hand position. Felony not keeping grouped up. There was a grenade in there. Miggsy saw it. Very compact play from Miggsy. He's keeping his guys close together, which is not going to work out against these grenades. He does notice one guy goes down. He retreats behind a secondary pipe. It's probably the biggest factor Miggsy is having right now is he's just not separating his infantry out enough. And, those are definitely prone to Felony's grenades, and she keeps using them. Oh, mag! Hull destroyed for that Hesse, but that's not what Seth's talking about. Seth is talking about this Laubach's half-track infantry drop-out play, which is done. It seems to have eliminated all of Seth's infantry in this area, and now it's being captured by Laubach's. So, Seth retreating his Nashorn and bringing in a small mechanized assault force. You can see on the map on the left-hand side, Seth has just lost everything. So whatever Laubox did, it was extremely effective. Laubox, great play. We have smokes up in the area. Laubox gonna have to defend against his attack. His half-track already beaten to a pulp. It'll be interesting to see how much forces Laubox has in this area. And what is he going to reinforce it with? You know, obviously, we're going to counter-attack the area. We're not going to just give up and lose it. You know, always good to bring more defenses to the front lines, but is he going to accept this as a loss, or is he just going to neutralize the zone and force Seth to respond in a way that could screw him up later in the game? Laubox doing a good job to hold his side. Seth losing his side. So, you know, overall, on that left-hand side, Seth is kind of winning. We've got some veteran sniper direct control play here, picking off a few guys. Maybe the Tiger still behind this hill. Safe from a shot from a Pershing. Looks like it's going to crawl out and maybe take a shot of its own. As the sniper continues to pick away at these guys, Migsy confused and dazed. And that guy gets shot into a pre-made grave. No digging required, and I swear I just heard a German soldier say big cheese, but I can assure you there are no enemy big cheeses. No enemy big cheeses at all. Veteran sniper continuing to look away, finally using direct control. I want to see a few more guys get picked off by this, and Migsy going, oh, what is this? Why are my guys suddenly having heart attacks? Migsy most likely going to be watching this later. And I must confess, Migsy, I love you as a person, but as a player, you are sniper fodder. And I had never worth a shot. Almost killed this guy in this house. But he's healing up. He's not phased at all by a never worth a shot to the face. He's, you know, he's never worth a rockets for breakfast. And a Tiger well aware of this. The Pershing's well aware of the Tiger's position. The guy repairing gets launched into the air and into the water again. Or maybe not. We do have a Pershing in the background taking some side shots. Oh, I like this with my Superbox Jutsu. I don't think Felony has noticed now and is retreating. Turning the frontal armor towards the Pershing is the first thing you should do. Now having to rotate it to the side just to try and get around this hill. You can see the guy following with the repair kit. It's like, no, come back here, I just want to repair you. No. Super pro commentating from the Inuki. You are watching Inuki TV. I am Inuki. Good day. Remember to fire shots and remember the good commander. Heavy infantry assault force coming from Felony now. Back onto this left position, not the far right one. Mithras with a medium tank, Yarg Panther. But, you know, against a Pershing, yeah, maybe not. You know, kind of risky. No matter how he's going to attempt to do that as Felony assaults this zone with the usual grenade opening behind the sandbags. It's an excellent position for her to be able to grenade from, you know, just behind the hill. There's no way the enemy can shoot at her. So maybe, you know, a little tip for this map, if you're in that position, I would highly recommend not setting your sandbags in that location because it can be grenaded from there. And, you know, suppose whilst we're talking about this, a good thing about these replays, or you know, if there is a replay system being worked on, you can look back on these games and say, oh, hang on, maybe that position for a sandbag is, you know, you can be grenaded from there, so perhaps I should move that back. And I noticed some people on the forums don't seem to recognize the value of replays. But yeah, they are definitely something great to have, especially in a competitive game. Albeit you don't necessarily need replays, an observer system is also just as good and a lot easier to create in terms of you know, how much effort you need to put in to make that system. You can get just the same from observers. So, you know, fingers crossed someone will do that soon. I have heard a sneaky little secret. Good grenade, by the way. Sneaky little secret that there is a replay system being worked on, and currently like a half-hour game accumulates to 7 gigabytes. But yes, that sounds about right for this game. There's a lot of information having to be recorded, and to replay that is a hell of a lot of work. You know, a hell of a lot of storage. And I do realise I say a hell of a lot of. But anyway, coming